Hello everyone, welcome to NASCAR News Kid. Wow is all I'm gonna say in short context for this race. The Brickyard 400 Crown Jewel. I have tons of remarks on this race to make. We'll analyze every part of this race, the results, who won the in-season tournament, 36-4-36, and much, much more. So stick around right until the end. For every single part we'll analyze of this race. But anyway, where do we start? I guess let's start with a recap. Chase Briscoe picks up the pole. Great job. 5th pole position on the season, so A+ for him in the pole category. Stage 1, Ross Chastain and Michael McDowell. Stage 1, yep. Chastain, McDowell already make contact, and Chastain does what Chastain always does. Cuts McDowell off. McDowell doesn't expect to break that quickly and hits Chastain, spins Chastain out in turn 3, messes up Chastain's day. It was on him, so Chastain takes himself out really early. Cindric, Berry, Logano stay out and soon pit before the end of Stage 1. And Briscoe, back on point, goes on to win Stage 1. Stage 2, there is a huge restart issue on the initial start. Ryan Preece and others would stay out and lead the field to green. But a restart issue stack up multiple cars. The restart was okay. NASCAR said it was. As Jones pulled out of line because everyone was checking up, so NASCAR said it was okay. I agree with them on that. Kyle Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., all getting damage from that, so not good for many of those guys' days. And they would lead, no caution after that, but Preece would lead until he'd pit with around 30 to go in Stage 2. Here's where it starts to get messy, because strategy was all over the place, like actually all over the place. Others would start to pit before the end of Stage 2. Cindric had a tire issue running it long, and he was the leader at that point, leading super long, and has a tire issue from the lead. I mean, insane. Cindric a tire issue, and others pit hoping for a caution, but still no caution, even with the debris he was throwing everywhere. Rubber. Cindric comes to pit road, and, yeah, not good at all for Cindric. I believe he'll lose at least one lap there after that tire issue, even from the lead. Super bad, I guess, day started there for us and Cindric. And the bad days would not end. Jones with tire issues would hit turn 3 wall, and that would actually bring out the caution. And Briscoe, the leader as of that time, would pit. Ryan Blaney and Brad Keselowski would stay out. Blaney goes on to pick up Stage 2. Great job by Ryan Blaney, getting stage points, trying to climb the leaderboard in point standings. So good job by Ryan Blaney there. Stage 3, Brad Keselowski, Ty Gibbs, Blaney, and others would pit. And that would put Kyle Larson, in the hot seat, starting first on the restart. He would lead the field to green. Logano's and others would start to pit once the Stage 2 would start to roll on. And Larson, Hamlin, leaders, Reddick, Hocevar, and others would also soon to pit. And, yeah, Stage 3 it was probably the most mixed up stage on the race. And Logano would soon cycle to the head of that lead after only taking 2 tires, trying to leapfrog Larson, who was the leader. Hamlin, Reddick, Hocevar, he leapfrogged them, only taking 2 tires. Bubba Wallace also behind him. And Logano blows a tire on the backstretch while in first, just pushing it way too hard. He was way far ahead of Bubba Wallace, and that's the risk you take with taking 2 tires. Logano blows a tire and messes up his whole chance of winning the Brickyard 400. His final pit stop, he takes 2 tires. Great call on by Paul Wolfe, by the way. But still, Logano blows a tire and messes up his race. Was trying to get a second win. Remember, his first win came at Texas all the way back. I believe that was April or May or something like that. But trying to get the Brickyard 400. What could have been. And he would get to pit road. And to add to his troubles, he stalled getting out of his pit stall. So not at all good for Joey Logano. It looked good until he blew a tire, just pushing it too hard. But still, even then, what could have been, and a great call by Paul Wolfe. Shout out to him but no caution, not enough debris, or not stopped on the racetrack or slow for Logano, not really in the way, so they kept it green. Ryan Blaney running long would soon pit with 18 to go, and that would put Bubba Wallace, yes, the 23 who had a 100 race winless streak, that goes all the way back to fall of 2022, I believe, Kansas, when he was filling in for Kurt Busch in that 45 car. That goes all the way back to there. 100 races since Bubba Wallace picked up a Cup Series victory. What would that be? What would that mean to him? And he would take the lead over after the Blaney pitting issue for Logano, and he would have a 5-second lead on Kyle Larson with around 15 laps to go. Larson only reeling him in by like 0.2 a second every lap. It wasn't going to be enough for Larson. But then we also brought up the fact of weather coming into today, and the weather struck. Bubba only needed 6 or 10 minutes to finish the race up, but the weather didn't care. The weather came in with 6 laps to go, and the caution would come out, and it's raining in turn 1, turn 2, and the red flag would soon follow. We didn't know if that was the end of it. We didn't know if they would dry the track like they did in the Xfinity race yesterday. So, I mean, it was all unknown. And NASCAR showed that they were going to dry the track because it was a little rain shower. Nothing even showing up on radar, says Kyle Larson's crew chief. And even I checked the radar for Indianapolis. There was nothing showing up. So, the track drying was underway. And when they got back racing, it was like, I don't know, I want to say like a 20 to 30 minute red flag. And when they got back under caution, Reddick, John Nemechek, Chase Elliott, and Ty Gibbs would soon pit, and others from the back of the pack, they'd all elect to pit. And I think that's a pretty good call, considering Indianapolis, since we've come back since last year, the overtimes have always been chaos. Now, those drivers would pit for fuel, tires, all that. The top guys, the top 10, I'd say, all the way back to Keselowski, Chase Elliott, those guys that just pitted, they are short on fuel. They have not really enough fuel for 2+ overtimes. So they're worried about another overtime after this overtime. And Bubba Wallace, who was the leader at the time, would lead the field to green. He'd battle Kyle Larson. Larson on his outside on the overtime, side by side, but they'd get into turn 3. Wallace would clear him until a caution. Wallace looked like he was going to cruise away to the white flag, but no, a caution flew. Zane Smith spun due to his teammate Todd Gilliland hitting Christopher Bell's rear. Bell hits Zane Smith's rear, and basically spun Zane Smith, caused a caution, and that second overtime, most of those teams did not want at all. And no one would pit except for Gibbs. And you'd expect, give it up, don't run out of fuel right in front of everyone like Keselowski did in the end of last year's race. But no one pits, not even Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, all those guys that are up there, Josh Berry, none of them pit. They would rather run out of fuel than pit and not have any chance of winning. Wallace wants to stay out and rather run out of fuel and have a chance maybe than pit and not have any chance at all. So great call by Bubba Wallace's crew chief. You definitely want to run out of fuel fighting for the win than not even having a chance, not even seeing if you could win the race and pit. So good job by them making that call. Chase Briscoe, who pitted 1 lap before Bubba Wallace in that final pit cycle, had to pit coming to the green, or during the choose, he had to come down pit road. Even with the pits closed, he had to come down and get service on that. So just showed it was scary for Bubba Wallace. And Briscoe, like I just said, pitted 1 lap before Bubba Wallace, who is the leader coming to this green-white checker. The second green-white checker, Bubba Wallace would lead the field to green, and they were getting scary. Anyone could run out of fuel, and great job by everyone staying in it and not running out of fuel. No one ran out of fuel, not even Bubba Wallace. They flipped the switches and everything. Those last fuel cells and everything, they ran it to the edge. And Bubba Wallace would beat Kyle Larson on the restart, even with low fuel. I mean, Larson was low on fuel, but not as much as Bubba Wallace. And Bubba Wallace ends a 100-race winless streak drought. He picks up the Brickyard 400. Bubba Wallace, congratulations to him. Ends a 100-race winless streak. Like I said, all the way back to the Fall Kansas race of 2022. Insane. For 23-11, Bubba Wallace locks himself into the playoffs. I want to give a huge shout out to him. Not only him, but the rest of the field. No one crashed. Everyone, like the top 10 was short on fuel. No one ran out as far as I'm concerned. I mean, maybe William Byron dropping quite a ways down to 16th. In the end, he was up there. In the top 10 coming to the restart. But even then, great job by everyone handling it, not running out of fuel. So great job by everyone. Great job by Bubba Wallace. Most importantly, beating one of the best, Kyle Larson, one of the best in the business who won this race in 2024. Great work by Bubba Wallace. Locks himself into the playoffs. And like I said, Chase Briscoe pitted one lap before Bubba, and Bubba survived 2+ laps more than Chase Briscoe, just to give you an extra, little measurement to show how great Bubba Wallace did with saving fuel and that extra fuel cell, flipping the switch and everything. So great job by Bubba Wallace on that part. Let's get to results. Bubba Wallace, P1, great job by him. Second for Kyle Larson, really decent day. Won this race 2024, still a solid day. Even after that slump he's had all summer, comes back for a second place finish, even though he really wanted that win. Another driver who really wanted that win to finish off his crown jewel, sweep. Denny Hamlin comes home third. Fourth for Ryan Preece. I want to shout him out. I don't know how he got there, but it took some insane strategy, but even then, great job by him. His team owner, Brad Keselowski, comes home P5. He had the best fuel, basically, out of everyone there, finishes P5. P6 by Todd Gilliland, decent day by him. 7th for Blaney, great job, even with running it long in the final run. Final pit stops, he still comes home with a 7th, just shows the carnage that unfolded. 8th for Bell, good job by him. 9th for Bowman. 10th for Hocevar, who had a solid day, was like 4th running most of the day. 4th, 5th, 6th, I'd say he was running most of the day. And good job by him. Rounds that out with the top 10. 11th for Justin Haley, his home track. 12th for Nemechek. Really solid day, was up there in the top 8 most of that long run, I'd say. 13th for Chase Elliott, pitted before the overtimes. Good job, good result by him. 14th for Chris Buescher. So all RFK Fords in the top 15. That is a great work by all of them. 15th for Cindric, even with leading those laps, blowing a tire, a heartbreak. He still comes home with a top 15 result. Now some notables. 16th for Byron. 17th for Catherine Legg. Definitely improving on those ovals. 18th for Briscoe. Unfortunately ran out of fuel coming to the last overtime. 19th for SVG. Also another driver improving on ovals. Qualified like 11th or 12th. So good job by him all around by SVG. My 36-4-36 pick, Cole Custer, finishes 20th, 21st. For the in-season challenge winner, Ty Gibbs, great job by him. 22nd for Josh Berry. 25th for Kyle Busch, even with some damage. A solid result by him, staying out of the carnage most of the day. 28th by Ty Dillon. 29th by Reddick, who got involved. Actually, I forgot to mention this. Involved in that crash with Zane Smith. Hit Zane Smith and just had nowhere to go. So that ends in a heartbreak the whole day. 32nd for Logano. Obviously had to stall on pit road and blew a tire. Just did not recover from that. And 39th by Chastain, even with the crash early. So 36-4-36, I have 17 points with Custer, and my brother gets 38 points, so my brother, basically doing the math in my head, gains about 20 points on me, 21 points-ish, so really good day by him, not so great day by me, so yeah, 21 points on me, but you know, he still has like 71 points on me in our challenge. So, decent for him. In-season bracket, 21st for Ty Gibbs, 28th for Ty Dillon. Ty Gibbs wins the $1 million by 7 spots in Indianapolis. Great job by him. He totally deserved it. Stay out of the carnage. Even pitting twice in the last, couple laps, he still survived and beat Ty Dillon. Just showed how great that team executed in Indianapolis. And I also want to mention before we go, a theory. Is Kyle Busch next after Bubba Wallace ends a winless streak? And I also want to rate TNT 7 out of 10. Not great. They're 5 races, but not horrible as well. So that will wrap this up, the Brickyard 400. I hope you all enjoyed. And next week we are going to Iowa. It will be on USA and NBC, so look forward to that. And until next time, I'll see you before Iowa.